How you doing?
I'm sunburned.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! I'm a 34-year-old person that can't not get sunburned.
Oh my god.
This has already happened once this year, and it's like, it's fine. Part of it's my fault.
Excuse
like,
me.
Ooh, good bless.
Ugh, it's so. I'm like raggedy today, man. Woo. We're both falling apart.
We're falling
Oh, by the way,
apart.
I'm Erin.
Oh, I'm Nicole. This is Dude, That's Fucked Up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's out of the way. Your voice sounds crunchy today.
Yeah, crunchy indeed. I'm dying. I'm a little hungover. I'm a little rough around the edges today. Ugh.
I'm crispy around the edges.
Yeah. You're like cooked a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm a little cooked. It's fine. The thing I'm most mad about is down by my crotch, like my leg, the high thigh.
Yeah.
I missed a spot, and it's like where my underwear is touching, and it's like excruciating.
Dude.
Yeah.
I guess you can't wear underwear or pants.
Oh no, that's not going to be good for my improv show later today.
Oh dear.
You don't know that I'm not wearing pants right now.
That's true. I can only see the top half of you.
You can only see my little bun and my face.
My hair is like raggedy right now. I washed it and everything, but I still look like a homeless person. But I'm saying, I showered and washed myself thoroughly, but I still look terrible because, I can't hang like I used to.
Your brows look great.
Thank you. That's like the only thing I have going for me right now.
Your brows look great, but also I can only see your eyes and brows. There you go. Oh no, you look great. You look fresh as a daisy.
Makeup's awesome. Yeah. I think my hair looks more like drowned Jesus, maybe. Like it's like wavy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't dry it, so
I think it looks great.
Cool. All right. Weird Al Yankovic. Sure.
Oh, that's what my hair looks like a lot of times. If I don't have the right cut, it's just like a long triangle of curls. And I'm like, I look like Weird Al. It's embarrassing.
Oh, God. Anyway,
yeah.
Well, let's see. Are you guys on the Facebook group, the private one?
Join it.
You should join it. I pinned the page to the top of the regular DTFU Podcast Facebook page.
Smart.
So if you're wondering how to get there, it's pinned up there. So do that.
We've had a lot of people join in the last few days. It's nice.
I know. It's so funny. It's great. Everybody's posting really funny stuff in there.
Someone just joined that I'm pretty sure is a troll, so I'm gonna keep an eye on them, like a fake account.
Oh yeah,
I approved them, and then
a sock.
Yeah. I approved them, and I went to go check out their profile because I like to see where the people are from and stuff.
Totally.
And it was one photo ever, and it seemed sketchy. Yeah. So I have my eye on you. You know who you are.
Or you're a robot and you don't know what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you guys do that. We're having lots of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, we inspired a fan to write in.
Yeah, this one is from our new fan Alejandra. Alejandra. So she said it's a travel story. She's just started listening. She said, "Hi, I'm a fairly new listener, and I'm catching up with all your episodes. I just started listening to episode 14, and you're both telling your airplane horror stories, and I felt inclined to share my very recent traveling kerfuffle." Great word. Bear with me as I feel the buildup really adds to the ending. So she says, "My boyfriend and I just got back from Paris, and every single part of the traveling was a mess. We sat on the tarmac in our first flight for 2 hours. We missed our connecting flight. That is the worst. It's just the worst feeling when you know you're like going to miss your connecting flight. It sucks. And she continues, ended up needing 2 more connecting flights to get to Paris. We were in 3 countries in 12 hours. But wait, there's more. Oh, awful. On the way back, our connection back to New York was delayed further, totaling a 5-hour layover.
Oh my God.
Once we got on that flight, we discovered we were sharing the flight with a large group of young people coming back from their birthright trip and 2 very large families with 3 fairly new babies among them. It was a very loud early morning flight. Ugh.
Oh my God. So you have like on the one hand a bunch of like young-ish people who just spent like a week or 2 weeks together. Yeah. Like probably like hooking up with each other and like have all these like inside jokes, and they're probably just like so like wired and like,
oh my God.
And then you have a bunch of families with screaming babies,
and like probably everybody's like moving around and like talking over.
Yeah.
Anyway,
screaming to like people in other seats, like
yeah. I've been on flights like this. It's
my God.
So rough. She goes, not only were the floor and aisles littered with regular garbage, but dirty, full diapers were left in the aisles. Oh my God. Oh, that's so awful.
Wait, we had to she didn't need to say dirty and full.
I mean, like it could be dirty, like just with pee. You know what I mean?
I'm like,
hold on, let me continue.
Okay, I feel I feel sick.
Yeah, she said we had to traipse through poopy diapers to get off the plane. My boyfriend and I just kept repeating, who does that, over and over and over again, and just felt so bad for the employees who had to clean it up. Lastly, after being home for about a day, my boyfriend wakes up with a wicked sore throat and asks me to look at it. And sure enough, he's got the grossest tonsillitis I've ever laid my eyes on. He's never had any tonsil issues in his life, so there's no other explanation than that biohazardous flight. On a good note, Brussels Airways food is actually pretty delicious, not gross, and didn't mess with our stomachs at all. We did avoid the fish, though, because airplane fish just seems dodgy. What the fuck, Brussels Airways? Like, don't serve fish in a fucking sealed metal tube. That's not, it's like, it's bad enough when you're like at work and people are like heating up fish in the microwave. Nobody does that.
No. Well, people
why would
do,
an
that's an abomination.
It's rude.
That's so rude.
It's so rude. Yeah, anyway, she goes on. Between you two, Karen and Georgia, and Em and Christine and That's Why We Drink, my phone is chock full of hella cool ladies talking about weird and gross shit.
Oh.
That's really sweet. And what an honor to be in the company of such other awesome ladies.
Oh, yeah.
She said, P.S. Erin's voice sounds uncannily like one of my best friends, and it's great. That's funny. Thanks for reading. Keep up the great work, Alejandra. And she said, sounds like Lady Gaga's hit, Alejandro. I love it.
So that we didn't call her like Alejandra or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Girl, I know.
Yeah. We got you, girl. We got you.
Yeah. And I like wrote her back to ask her if it was cool, and she responded with a herf. Uppercase herf. Love it. Love it.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Alejandra.
Aww.
Hope your boyfriend is fully recovered.
Well, the other we're not going to read this email, but we have to give a shout out to Laura, who is like DTFU's like maybe #1 super fan.
Yeah, she's our like honorary 3rd member.
Yeah, she yeah. Oh, I bet she'll love that you just said that. I saw remember when she I feel like she posted us or shared something with us a long time ago, and it was like her wearing a Nope shirt. I saw one at Target, and I almost bought it. And I was gonna like send a picture to her and be like, I bought this shirt too, girl. But then it didn't look cute, so I didn't buy it.
You're like, nope.
Yeah, I was like, nope to this shirt.
Oh my God.
But so she wrote us an email a few, probably like a while ago now, because we just like skimmed the surface of mentioning the Duggars in our Sasquatch episode, I think. And so she was like, oh, you guys, the Duggars are so fucked up. Like, well, they're fucked up, but like their religion is fucked up, and you guys should totally do an episode. So we were like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. We already like kind of didn't like them. There's so many TLC shows that we could do full episodes about.
We could just do a full episode on TLC and how shitty they've become.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I remember watching TLC when it was like medical stories, and like operations, and science stuff. And now it's just like Bigfoot hunters and swamp people and like
it used to be the public school equivalent of the Learning Channel, and now it's the homeschool equivalent of learning.
Oh my God. There's like people, they'll like entertain the idea of dinosaurs existing at the same time as humans did. It's just like it's shit like that. And it's like, no, get the fuck out.
Let's like, talk to a scientist.
Even History Channel's becoming that bad. They have like ancient aliens and shit on there, which...
Is that one of those things though where they like call it an ancient alien, but really it was like a pterodactyl? Do you know what I mean?
No. Oh, it's like, but how did an advanced civilization build anything?
Oh.
Aliens.
Oh.
It's like, well, you know, these advanced civilizations had figured out mathematics and physics. And then we had some dark ages after like these like really cool civilizations and empires like rose to greatness, and then like anything, it crumbles. Yeah. Probably like our society will sooner than we think.
Yeah. Shortly hereafter.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk today about a little bit about the Duggars.
Hang on.
But
let me just okay.
Yeah, we really need to. Ooh, that's a big Pacifico.
It is.
I'm drinking Tecate.
Ooh, taking it down south. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about the Quiverfull movement today. It is just... Horrifying. It's basically like they'll never admit it, but it is like it's like a portion of religion that the Duggars subscribe to.
Yeah.
And adhere to. Pretty hardcore.
Yeah, like they flat out deny it, but like it is whether they call it this or not, it is in the realm of this.
Yeah. So what is it? The Quiverfull, aka Christian patriarchy movement, aka biblical Christians. That kind of tells you all you need to know.
Christian patriarchy.
Patriarchy movement, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
That's a big no for me.
I'm going to have to say no.
It's a no for me, dog.
Wait, that's Randy Jackson, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Big no.
He was funny without trying, and I love that.
I love that that's like just a meme now. It's so good.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but Quiverfull specifically refers to, it's structured around Psalm 127, which is, children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. So that's basically saying, so a quiver in Old English is a case for holding arrows. So that's what you like put your, like Robin Hood style, put it on your back and, you know.
Okay, but in this case it's a dick, right? Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them, full of children. Well, it's technically his testicles.
House. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like
I'm thinking shooting arrows.
No, because they're literally trying to make a child army is what it is. So it's true. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make. I know. Well, it's creepy.
Yeah.
They're trying to like procreate and have as many children as possible so that they can create like this child army to send out into the sinful world to rectify it.
Captain, we have a problem. The child army is coming up over the hill. They have all their building blocks and razor scooters. It's God. A nightmare, Captain.
Oh my God. Yeah. So these people believe that if the more kids that they have, the like bigger army they'll create. Yeah. So, yeah. So they also believe that like everything out in the like in modern day society is like evil. Like feminism is of the devil. Like anything that's like not super conservative and modest is of the devil. Like, so these women that are married to these men just become baby factories, basically. Like Michelle Duggar.
Yeah. They're not allowed to have jobs. And even like once you have as many kids as the Duggars have, like she creates like basically a sweatshop family where like she's the manager and all the kids are doing all the chores and the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and like taking care of the little ones. Like I don't even know, like, what is your purpose after that? Like after you like I couldn't even imagine once you hit menopause in this religion and you can no longer have children. Like what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, that's what's so fucked about it is that like there's just you don't have a personhood. Like your sole purpose is to create children. And like meanwhile, like these men basically can just do whatever they want. Like they have, you know, it is hard to sustain and support a family of this size, sure, but like I don't know, like they're not the ones having to pump out the kids.
Yeah. Well, and for a lot of these families, like not the Duggars, because obviously they have like TLC money. So, you know, they're probably pretty well off, especially for a family that size. But think about if the woman can't work because the religion dictates that, and the man is only earner for the family, and you have 7 kids, even 5 kids.
Even 2, 3 kids.
Even 2, 3 kids. Yeah. So a lot of these families aren't very well off in terms
and it's like, no, and it's like you put so much undue strain and pressure on your marriage by doing this. Like I can't, like, I mean, it's hard enough out there in the trying to make a living. So these people just really, and then the woman, you know, the wife is just stressed out constantly trying to like wrangle all the kids, make sure they're fed, clothed, going, you know, doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they're also having to homeschool them, which we'll get to in a little bit. But that's like some of the basics around this, the belief of the Quiverfull movement. Yeah. Basically very, very, very antiquated clothing are worn. Like, you know, you can't wear a dress or a skirt that's above the knee. Very gender division of labor, unquestioned authority of the father in the household. And then the main thing, obviously, is no birth control at all. Like, you can't even do, like, natural, like, family planning, like how Catholics do the rhythm method, or just people who, you know, maybe are allergic to hormonal birth control. They try to use the rhythm method. So, like, they can't even do that. They cannot abstain at all from sex. If the husband is like, let's have sex and try to get pregnant again, and the women will keep having babies until their body just can't anymore. Which
2 things, not that the rhythm method works, but like they still can't even use it. Like, but the other thing is, if like the woman is just there for the man, like shit gets pretty rapey. Because the woman, and I would imagine this is different for like every couple, but what is being dictated and what is the setup that is essentially like forming in this religion is that the man is not to be questioned, and you are here to serve the man. Right. And so you don't really have a say or an opinion in anything when it comes to your body or whatever.
Yeah, you have no agency over your own vagina.
Right.
And uterus. They're basically living in The Handmaid's Tale. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty much, this is happening. This is real. There's thousands of people that adhere to this shit. So
I mean, yeah, it's like maybe a
it's
less
not
extreme The Handmaid's Tale, because
right.
they won't be arrested or killed or anything. But
well, I mean, that would be if these people took over the country.
Right. Yeah, if these people had a say. Well, yeah, because aren't they all come from they mostly congregate in fundamentalist evangelical churches.
Right.
But they can be found in other places.
Yeah, so let's see. Just to kind of like, so that's like kind of the basics, and these people exist mostly in the US, but it's spreading to parts of the UK and Australia. I don't know what the like exact figures are, because people won't like outright say that they're part of this, like they're part of the Quiverfull movement, because it does have such negative connotations.
The rest of us will shame them.
Yeah. But this kind of originated as a backlash against feminist movements in like the early 1930s. But then it became like a fully formed and realized movement in the 80s.
Yeah.
But even in the 70s it started coming, but it really came about in the 80s, where they started getting more followers. So it's not called the Quiverfull movement in like their kind of umbrella term. The way it started was by this guy named Bill Gothard. He had a couple things going on. I like to kind of liken him to L. Ron Hubbard, like, because there's like a lot of parallels with this in Scientology. Not at all in like the belief system, but like,
but less,
I don't know,
but less creative. What did you say?
Oh yeah, this guy's like not creative at all. Like, at least L. Ron Hubbard had like made up this whole entire fucking narrative of like fucking, what are they called? Like thetans?
Yeah, thetans.
Aliens, and like having to become like
having to get
do
auditing. Yeah.
I mean, that shit's original as fuck. Like,
oh yeah.
It's like he was a science fiction writer before he founded the religion. Yeah, he made up a religion, basically. But they kind of came about at the same time. Like like Sea Org was like happening in like the 70s, and he, like, L. Ron Hubbard was super gross and like molesty, and just like wanted to, it was like this ego. He was just pure ego. And that's, this guy Bill Gothard is kind of the same way, just fucking gross and making shit up as he goes.
I think you have to have an ego to start a fucking religion.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Yeah, to have people like follow you and be like chill about it and be like, this is gross, but I'm gonna keep going. You gotta have some real high opinion of yourself. Like, he's just not. He basically took the Psalm 127 or whatever and just like was like, "Yep, here we go. We're gonna be," and then just follow the Bible and like do everything that the Bible says. It's like he didn't even like think of anything original.
No.
So,
none of it's original. It's all like, it's like the Bible verbatim, and then literalized.
And also it takes like a culty spin. There's some like principles that like he instilled. So this is called the Institute in Basic Life Principles. Like, this is a thing that is existing today that people follow. And it's basically kind of a seminar aspect of this whole religion. That's how it kind of started. People started going to these seminars that he'd put on, and it's this non-denominational Christian organization, and it serves as an umbrella organization for several ministries. So like these churches like kind of glom on to these practices and, you know, espouse the shit that he has kind of made up.
Yeah. So,
and their stated purpose is to provide instruction on how to find success in life by following biblical principles. So, it's a nonprofit, tax-exempt, religious charitable organization that, like at their height in 2006, was reporting to be making $63 million annually. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. How much of that does he get? Like, you know?
Who knows? I mean, I'm sure he like, these families aren't getting it.
No. And I was going to say, like, find success. Like, he's helping them find success with these principles, but it's like success isn't what maybe we would think of as success as, like, or maybe what most people would, where it's like, oh, like a happy, you know, like affluent maybe, or at least not, you know, at least having enough money to like be comfortable and like having friends and all and family and stuff. It's literally just like success is having as many kids as you can.
Yeah. So he not only is he probably like skimming big time, he's a sexually harassing, disgusting piece of shit.
Allegedly.
Well, he got in big trouble, or almost got in big trouble a few years ago.
Yeah.
He would hire women to like work in like the admin positions in the organization, and he just like sexually assault and like molest them basically. But no charges have ever been pressed against him. So,
but people came forward
and
made allegations,
like, accused him.
Yeah. But yeah, no charges were ever pressed. So he stepped down as the head of this church because of this, but he's still very much active and has like a website. You could go to billgothard.com. And like he still is preaching and like, okay, but this is really weird. I thought for someone who's like saying all of this, he's never been married or had a family, which I find like, you know, how
are you going to tell other people to like have these families and live biblically when you're not even married or you don't even have a family? Like I that's the thing. People just like suspend their critical thinking and want to like fall in line with this stuff. I don't know.
I would not be down. I would be like, wait, something's off.
Yeah.
Like that's the weird thing about charisma too, because you could be charismatic and you're like, you could be creepy too. I mean, like not everyone who's charismatic is like appealing to people. You could be a weirdo.
Yeah. But I mean, even still, like, regardless of, like, whatever, if any of these allegations are true or not, like, he still gets so much money from these people who are already very stretched. Their means are already very stretched because they're raising these massive families. And he's, like, you know, getting them to donate money to the church still. So, or whatever, or, like, go to these seminars or whatever. And then he also has this other branch that is under this umbrella of the Institute in Basic Life Principles called the Advanced Training Institute, which is like the homeschooling branch of it, which indoctrinates all the children. They don't send their kids, like people in this religion don't send their kids to public school or even private school. They just homeschool their children so they can keep them isolated, and indoctrinate them with this kind of shit. So
oh my God.
The ATI is the abbreviation for it, and if you want to like look at their resources, it's atii.org. I like went on the website to like see what they I mean, it's a pretty slick website, but
you made it out alive.
Yeah, but it's like you go on there to order the like all the stuff that you need to homeschool your kids. So you have to pay money for that if you're in this church. To not only are you trying to keep your head above water financially and like mentally and emotionally while like homeschooling all these kids, you have to like pay for it. And then you also have to like consistently teach them this stuff so that they stay within these like this very sheltered life. And so, yeah, it's atii.org and bases everything around the Bible. So literally everything, history, science, linguistics, like is based on the Bible. Like, I don't know how you base history
or science
or science. Like, I don't.
Yeah. What a skid mark. I don't like this guy.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys could tell. This guy's a total asshole. Whether or not he did half the things that like he's accused of, it doesn't matter. This guy, like, has directed people to create lives for themselves that are less, they're pretty substandard when it comes to actually being able to take care of an entire family.
Also, these women must just always be on the verge of the biggest mental breakdown that you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, God.
Like Britney Spears proportions, because
oh my God,
like you don't even get a break from your 800 kids. Like, at least, you know, when our moms were raising us, because your mom a stay-at-home mom too, like when you were young?
My mom was stay-at-home. Yeah,
same with my mom. And at least when we went to school, she got some peace and quiet, and she could like go to the supermarket without us being like, can I get this, like,
yeah,
throwing little fits.
I mean, we still were doing that, but it wasn't like there was 10 of us.
Well, there wasn't 10, and you were at school all day. Like,
yeah,
your mom got some like peace and quiet. These women, I can't even fucking imagine. Like, oh my God, I would not survive a day doing this.
And I know it's so. I feel so sad for these women and children. Like, it just blows my mind. Like that, and also like you, not even like considering that they're probably not at all healthy either. These women probably have tons of issues, like from just having kids back to back to back to back. Yeah. Cannot be good for you. No. Pregnancy is very traumatic, and like it's a thing that your body does naturally, but for some people you can have tons of complications. Like it transforms your entire hormonal balance. You can get like high blood pressure from it. You can, not to mention like your insides are just totally fucked. Like there's so many things that can happen to you when you're pregnant. It's terrifying.
These women's insides are probably on the outside now. Have you ever heard of a prolapsed uterus? I sure have.
Don't Google it.
Don't Google it. When I talked to my two sister-in-laws, basically, who are both, one's a nurse practitioner and the other is a nurse. When I talked to them a couple weeks ago, and I said, I have a podcast, it's about fucked up stuff, what's the most fucked up thing either of you have ever seen? They both agreed to the prolapsed uterus. Like, that was no way. Like, yeah, they were like, one was like prolapsed uterus, the other was like, oh, that's what I was gonna say, hands down.
No fucking way.
And that's,
oh my God,
that's a thing, and it comes on the outside of your body, and it is
that's why you guys do your Kegels all the time.
Do your Kegels.
That's what happens.
Yeah, don't have 17 kids.
Keep that pelvic floor tight.
Get a jade egg if you have the money.
No, don't, because it's porous and it'll give you an infection.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, don't do that. Wait, P.S. We could cut this out, or we could leave it in. I love our friend Garrett, who also listens to this podcast.
What up, G?
I love G.
Yeah.
However, I would like to tell him in this podcast, and I have also commented on social medias twice, you posted your fresh baby covered in goo and gross things onto the Facebook, and I saw it, and then you posted the placenta.
No, he didn't. I didn't see that.
Hanny did it, but he was tagged in it, so it went into my feed, and I just was like, I commented no. And I was like, this is the second placenta I've seen in my fucking Facebook feed. Why? I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want to see your gross bloody sack that your baby lived in. Okay? It's disgusting. And that should have a warning, a trigger warning, whatever. I don't want to see that shit, you guys.
Oh my God. I mean, that's the thing. I don't mind that. Like, it's fine. But like, some other people
like me
might be a little squeamish. I'm not ashamed of like, or I don't want people to be ashamed of like the things that naturally happen to your body, but that's not for everybody, guys.
But there's a reason we're not all in the delivery room. Like, right. I don't want to see that. It's a choice. Yeah. I know. I'm proud. Okay, well, this is actually what was fucking cool. Hanny is like so fucking cool, but of course, because her and Garrett are together, and like obviously, she was fucking photographing from her own birth vantage point, her own birth.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and Garrett's down at the crotch, and like you could see, it's like a series. Like you, like
that's insanely awesome.
You see him down there, and there's like all this excitement, and then you see like, you know, the baby's out, and then like they're turning it and stuff. Like it's all an action sequence. but it's like covered in gross stuff, and it's like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's just
like, but
wipe it down, also, put a little hat on it.
I'm impressed as fuck that she just snapping away and pushing out a baby.
Yeah, she's an amazing photographer also. So like, yeah, these images, she actually should probably submit them to like Time magazine or something. Yeah, because it's ridiculous how what a badass she is. Obviously,
what a fucking badass. Yeah. Oh my god.
But I still want to see it.
I know.
Without warning, because it was like an album, and like, because the first few pictures were just cute or whatever, and then I was like, oh, I want to look at all the pictures, and then I was like, no, I don't. But yeah, no, I don't care what they do. I'm just like trying to be funny, but it's fine.
No, it's good.
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but congratulations to them also.
We love you guys. Yeah, congrats. But yeah, not only physically too, like I always think about like postpartum depression too. Like, how can you even you can't even fucking piss without the like 3 kids barging in on you, like in a normal family. Yeah. Like that doesn't have 10 fucking kids. Like, I can't imagine. And then it's like privacy is one thing, but having like any kind of postpartum depression after, it's just, you can't get out of bed. Like, I'm just so.
I think the other thing about this religion is everything is very disciplined, and I think the children are kind of like little robots too.
Oh yeah, like, they like have to pick up a lot of slack.
Yeah, so there's like there's something called blanket training, which I think is what it's called, where they train their kids like when they're crawling age. They'll put them on a blanket, and I don't know if everyone does this, but it's something that I read about, and they'll encourage the baby to like start crawling towards them, and then they'll like shake something loud or make a noise or like scare the baby to stay on the blanket so that they.
What? No, that's traumatic, and
no, it's
that's
very traumatic.
Child abuse.
I know, but that's like, I mean, it's how
keep them wrangled.
Yeah, they have to wrangle them. So it was something, I don't know if everyone subscribes to it. I don't know who uses it, but it was something that was talked about with like in conjunction with this religion. And it makes sense, because if you're Michelle Duggar, and I'm not saying they do this, and you have, let's just say halfway through her child army, let's say you have, 8, 9, 10 kids, you've had them in quick succession. Most of them are going to be tiny. Like, yeah, the oldest one is 9 years old at that point. The youngest one is 0 years old. Like, you can't possibly have a 9-year-old taking care of all these tiny babies, and you need to like, figure stuff out. The 9-year-old can't cook dinner yet. They could probably clean the bathroom or something, but like, you have to really train your kids to like, be good, well-behaved little even babies.
I know. Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's very, 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 very intense.
It's so intense
to think about. Yeah, we have tons of friends that have like at least, 2, 3 kids. Yeah. And they're like, this shit's hard. This is really fucking hard. Oh. Like, my mom tells me all the time, like, she had a fine time being pregnant. She always talks about how she like felt great, and like, and my brother and I, we were like easy kids, I think, for the most part, until we became teenagers and just became total fucking assholes. But like, like as kids, we were like chill and easy. I can't imagine. It just blows. It's still, I can't believe I'm so hung up on just thinking about trying to like enrich and give kids like a good life. Yeah. Like it doesn't seem possible that you can do that in a way that's totally effective. And a lot of these kids end up doing really poorly, like developmentally, because they're malnourished sometimes, because a lot of these families that do not have the means at all, like some of these people make a decent living. Some of these men are like anesthesiologists and like doctors and accountants, whatever. But some of these people are just like doing normal, $50,000 a year jobs. Like, I don't know how you support an entire family on that, let alone a child army.
Well, I know. Oh my God. All the rations. Okay,
I know.
well the Duggars, Jim Bob Duggar is the dad's name, which I mean, give me a fucking break. No way. Is that real?
It's
Jim
upsetting.
Bob Duggar. I can't.
Jim Bob.
I'm Jim Bob Duggar. I have 8,000 children.
19 and counting, apparently.
So I was reading that before like TLC came along, he wasn't like working great jobs. Like, yeah, you were saying some of the stories that you were kind of reading about and researching had like people who were like well-to-do, and anesthesiologists, definitely like a very good job, high-paying job. Jim Bob Duggar was like a used car salesman, and like had a bunch of different random jobs, like, because I don't think he's not maybe very highly educated or qualified for like higher paying jobs. So like TLC came along and saved them from eating tater tot casserole every night, which is basically ground turkey meat, frozen tater tots, and cream of mushroom soup.
Ugh. It's bar food.
It's barf food.
Barf food. It's like what you'd get at a fucking pub that doesn't have any fresh food.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Like
it's like
all
like frozen food.
Like a dive bar.
Yeah, like a dive bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we have to serve food in order to be like a rated establishment or something like that. I don't know.
I guess we ate vegetables growing up. But like it was like canned corn or like
Well, we are children of the 80s and 90s,
yeah.
so there wasn't that big of an emphasis on like
vegetables.
We
had salad and stuff, but it had ranch on it and it had croutons in
it.
it.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
I'm just saying. There is definitely a food pyramid that has existed for like decades that these people are not adhering to at all. So
oh, we haven't even talked about like the weird shit that they do out in public.
Oh, yeah.
It's also
okay.
So we've talked about this being like a very feminine, like female oppressive, like community and way of life. It's also very sexually oppressive.
Right.
And so from an early age, children are taught not to, look at other people's bodies lustfully or whatever, like, pretty some of like the typical shit. But also I read that they're not even supposed to masturbate or do anything where it wouldn't, like, basically you would like misuse a quiver or whatever, like,
yeah,
like anything that where you would like have semen come out and that wouldn't fulfill your destiny of creating life.
Yeah, it's like tantamount to abortion,
right?
Basically,
yeah,
like
it is for them.
That's like how they think.
Yeah,
it's like that extreme. Yeah, I also watched a really interesting documentary. I didn't watch the whole thing, but one of the women that she's like a younger woman. She's about like, maybe late 20s or something. She was explaining what she like grew up since she was like a little kid in the religion. And she explained in pretty good detail, like some of the stuff that was like very, very taboo.
Yeah.
And so like, obviously like, it's like all the like typical conservative like stuff. But what they would do is like send the girls ahead so that they could scout if they're like at the mall or the grocery store, and if there's a woman wearing like something quote unquote inappropriate, which is like anything that's like not a long skirt covering up a shapeless shift, basically covering up a woman's body, or wearing anything with prints, which they called eye traps. It's which draws the eyes towards you. So it's just it's like extreme stuff. And she was explaining this, and they weren't allowed to watch, like, they could watch movies, but nothing racy, obviously. So it's like the way she explained it was just so unreal, like thinking about these people existing in modern day society, trying to shelter quote unquote their kids from like all these sinful things. And then the thing that she said that was really interesting is that when they go out to eat or something and they're in a restaurant and like a song comes over the like music, the dad, if it was like too poppy, because they believe that like pop music, anything with like a really repetitive beat was like of the devil. And so the dad would like make a scene, ask for the manager, and be like, "You need to change this music. It's sinful, and this is like we're very like wholesome family and shouldn't be subjected to." And it's like would make it known that they are all very offended.
Oh my god!
And she said he'd do it on purpose so that people could just be like, "Oh my god!" Like I don't know. It was just very, very strange, and I just cannot imagine. Like,
I can't.
It's
like
so crazy.
Also, that doesn't like. It's just music. Like, it's not going to impregnate you or like. I don't know. It's so weird.
Anything could lead to more sin. Like, that's the thing. If you say that's okay, then it can lead to more.
Maybe we should caveat. We didn't go heavy into the Duggars because we don't watch that show. And I know
I don't want to give them eyeballs.
No, but I know when Laura wrote in, she said she used to hate watch it, which I totally understand.
Totally.
And I don't know. I definitely have hate watched things. Like girls, because I really liked that show at first, and then it was really weird. But then I was like, I can't not watch it. So yeah, she said she hate watched it, so she probably knows a lot about the Duggars. We don't know anything aside from some stuff that we looked up. I did find a website that's called previouslytv.com, and they have a lot of I think TLC shows actually, but they have a lot of forums where there's people like just talking shit on all these shows. So one of the words I guess that's popular on the show is Nike, and they'll use it a lot when they're out and about. And this is the same thing as what you were mentioning about the kids going into the grocery store to make sure no one around was like sexualized or whatever. And so basically if they're out on the street and the parents or anyone in the family like sees a woman that's like, you know, showing too much skin or whatever, they'll shout Nike, and all the kids have to look down at their shoes so that they don't look at that lady's titties. Oh my god! I flashed the whole beach yesterday.
Oh no!
My boob fell out of my swimsuit, and I was like, oh my god! I don't think anyone saw.
And everybody was like, Nike!
All of this stuff is like so controlling, and it's like you can't control the world, and you can't, like, don't even try. It's stupid. It's pointless.
Well, and it's like this is why so many cults like go and try to live off the grid or like away from people so they could do their culty bullshit without they could create their own world. But that's the thing that's interesting about this is that they exist and have these strong tenets that they have to try to continually indoctrinate their children with. Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know. It's out in the open, sort of, I guess. But then they won't admit to like being in the Quiverfull movement. So it's like we've talked about before, anytime there's like a negative connotation with it, you just call it something else. Like that's why they have such a like the overarching religion has such a blasé name, the Institute and Basic Life Principles, and like it sounds like a you know, like a consulting company or something. Like it doesn't, or like a
technical school or whatever those are. What's it called?
The Advanced Training Institute. Like it sounds like ITT Tech.
Yeah. But what are those schools called? Vocational. It sounds like a vocational school.
Yeah, all this is like so benign sounding. Yeah. And so, but when you really dig into it, and if you like identify that it's the Quiverfull movement, they'll deny. Like that's why the Duggars deny that they're in it, because it is so fucked. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, like the Duggars though, they deny that they're part of this, and all of this really started coming out within the last, like, what was it, like last year or the year before that Josh was
2014, I think, maybe, or 2015.
He was accused of sexually molesting his sisters when they were younger, and so I think some other children too.
And I don't think it's alleged. Like
It happened.
Like,
the sisters have talked about it.
And he's, like, I think admitted it and, like, yeah.
But the problem is, and just like with Bill Gothard, this is how the church handles it, is that he had to, like, step down from whatever position he was in the church. Josh Duggar did, because he's, like, one of the oldest ones, I think.
He's the oldest kid.
He's like in his, like, 30s or something. And so he was, like, in the church, and he had to step down from his position in the church, just like Bill Gothard did.
Yeah.
But the way that they have, like, there's a really creepy kind of, like, little diagram of how to counsel sexual abuse in the church. And it's just basically, like, all victim blaming and, like, not holding the person who is guilty, who should face consequences, not holding them accountable at all, really. So just like with Bill Gothard, Josh Duggar never faced any kind of criminal, like, charges. Nothing like that happened. So,
well, there's questions like this. Why did God let it happen? Was it a result of defrauding? Defrauding is looking at something that might arouse an unfulfilled sexual desire, or, like, doing something, I suppose.
Oh my God.
So why did God let it happen? Result of defrauding by immodest dress, indecent exposure, being out from protection of our parents, or being with evil friends. Like, those are the
oh my God.
Those are the
That's
only, like, 4 things that could cause it.
That's classic straight up victim blaming.
Yeah.
Like, don't blame the person that actually perpetrated the crime upon this person. Like it's your fault, basically, if you were dressed a certain way. Fuck off.
Okay, and then this is the other part. If abused was not at fault. So if actually you discover that the person who was abused didn't warrant it, then there's some other things that might be the case. So you need greater faith. The abuser needs greater faith because they're too weak. Spiritual discernment, genuine love, wisdom and understanding, creativity, energy, enthusiasm, joy, and inner peace. Like,
so basically, just pray about it.
Pray it away. And then the last one is, you have, like, basically, to wrap this all up, you have to say a prayer to dedicate your body to God. So you just have to, like, cleanse your spirit, and then you'll be fine.
Oh my God.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous.
This family is crazy. Everybody's named with a J name, which is, I just hate families that do that. Don't you? Like, I don't know. It's so weird to me. It's like, what? Just,
I don't. Yeah.
It's so hard too. Like, especially, okay, maybe you have a family of 4. And
I just, yeah.
And like, you could find 2 names with the same first letter. That's cute, I guess. When you have 19 kids, it's really fucking hard to keep coming up with names.
They have a kid named Ginger, spelled with a J. I didn't even know that it was, like, pronounced Ginger, because that's not how you spell fucking ginger.
Right. It's like, it looks like Jingle or something.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, oh, how festive. And then you're like, oh, wait, no, her name's not Jingle.
Yeah.
But these are, I'm just going to read all the names off.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so there's Jim Bob. Michelle, that's the mom with the crunchy hair. Joshua, that's the molesty one.
The molester.
Yeah. Jana. Oh, so Joshua is the oldest. Josh is the oldest. He's born in 1988, so he's 29 years old.
Ugh.
Okay, so Joshua. Then there's Jana, John, Jill, Jessa, Ginger, Joseph, Josiah, Joy, Jedediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin, Jackson, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie.
Oh my God.
Actually, they did pretty good.
Yeah, I think those are all great names.
You can't have any more than that. Where would you go with that?
I don't know.
Jurisdiction?
Jumanji.
Jordash.
Jamiroquai.
Jabberwocky.
Juice. Oh my God.
Junkyard.
Geronimo's with a G, but you could get real creative with it, like
with a J.
With a J, yeah, like Ginger.
You could just start picking soft G names.
Gingivitis with a J. Oh my God. I think I kind of feel bad for Michelle though, like, to be honest.
I
like,
feel bad.
She, like, even with her, like, oh, there is something about, it's like in the tenets of this religion where it's like you have to have like natural like hair that is like long and not flowy or whatever.
It brings out your natural beauty if you have like flowy hair, curly hair. Yeah,
it's like supposed to be soft and like no product in it. But then when you look at Michelle Duggar, she has very overprocessed, crunchy hair.
Yeah.
So I think it's a cry. It's her like own form of silent protest.
Like it's a cry for help.
It's a cry for help. It's like because Bill Gothard like has in the past like told women they need to wash the product out of their hair.
Oh my God.
But Michelle Duggar has said, fuck that. I'm going to make these bangs sky high. I'm going to put some fucking gel and Aquanet in there and it's going to be, and I'm going to, I don't know. I'm just going to make it as crunchy as I can because that's what I think it's a silent form of protest.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
We should start like a GoFundMe to like raise money to like help her escape.
Yeah. Michelle Duggar's bangs.
Shake your crunchy hair once if you're okay. Shake it twice if you're not.
Yeah.
Her daughters don't have crunchy hair. I wonder if they haven't gotten to that level yet. Like, we should keep a really close eye on them.
Yeah.
Because the second they have crunchy hair, like, we know they need help.
Or start, like, dyeing their hair purple or something.
Yeah, well, that'd be a real big sign.
That'd be a real big sign, yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, they're weird.
Don't let the bastards grind you down, Michelle.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We should talk more, I think, about the women who've escaped.
Yeah. Okay, I was just thinking that.
This religion.
Yeah. The badass women.
Yeah, these women are incredible. Like, I watched a documentary about this woman. Let me find her name here in my notes. Cheryl Lindsay Seeloff. So she was in the church for a long time. She had 9 children with her husband, and she realized she was like basically being abused. And she like realized like this is a bad situation I'm in. I need to get out of this. Her husband was not supportive of her. She's totally miserable. So she decided she was going to divorce her husband, and the church basically publicly shamed her and excommunicated her. And then she, when she's like trying to like leave with her dignity intact, they demanded all this stuff from her, like that she never talked publicly about it, about the church.
Or what? Were they like threatening her?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
They listed all these like demands. They because she was divorcing her husband, and that's just like so wrong.
Yeah.
And they demanded she never speak publicly, give all of her money over to the pastor of the church that she'd like made on her own, having like her own. I think she wasn't supposed to be working, so like they were like, you give us all your money that you've earned. And just a bunch of other crazy shit. So she's turned around and sued them. And she won. And she won like a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against this shit. So I know, fucking snaps. She's now like this badass feminist who like is remarried to this really nice man. He seems like a nice man. I mean, her kids, I think most of them are grown by now, but like she still has some like teenage kids, I think. And she just like worships the goddess. Like she's feminist as fuck. She did a full 180, just like could not be more happy and content in her life after going through such traumatic shit. So
wow.
I thought she was really incredible. Her name is Cheryl Lindsay Seeloff. So she escaped the shit, and fuck yeah, she's a badass.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I just love that she sued them and got like a multi-million-dollar settlement from them, because fuck that.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's so...
She was like... She was like publicly like shamed and humiliated.
It's so oppressive. We also, I don't know, did you listen to the podcast or you read the article about Vicky Garrison?
Yeah, I watched a little short doc about Vicky Garrison.
Oh, okay. I listened to a podcast called The Friendly Atheist. That's pretty good. But this is another woman who escaped this church. And it was really fascinating because she wasn't initially a part of this church. And it's a little bit similar to what happened to the Duggars. Like, they were very religious, but then they had, like, an incident that, like, kind of pushed them into it a little bit. Vicky Garrison had, like, the same kind of thing happen where she had, I think her first children or her first two children were, like, healthy, and then they started having complications, and so it made them kind of like turn into religion a little bit more, and that's when they discovered this like the Quiverfull movement, and she really enjoyed her life, and I think she was very devout, but she said like her kids were always sick and she was always tired, and she was starting to feel maybe not so strongly about it, and also she was very smart and could get really good jobs, but once they kind of fully committed to the Quiverfull movement, she wasn't allowed to work, and her husband had to work, and he wasn't as qualified, and I think he was blind from like a work accident like earlier on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to get like a great job, and so they were really poor and just like really struggling. And then she thought, well, you know, you're supposed to kind of spread the word about the religion, so she found her father, who she didn't have a relationship with, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go get back in touch with him and even like spread the word. But she found him, he was a good Christian, and then the dad was like, oh, by the way, you have this uncle, he's coming by later today, don't let him fool you, like he is, you know, Satan has touched him or whatever, like he's a bad one kind of thing. But she formed this relationship with her uncle, who she really liked, and they would correspond over the internet, because that's something that's actually a big part of the Quiverfull movement. They're allowed to use technology and the internet and stuff.
Yeah, as opposed to like they isolate by indoctrinating their children, not by like living in communities that are like are physically isolated, like Amish people do.
Yeah,
they're which is why I feel like they kind of it must be very difficult to maintain,
because you're always
surrounded.
Like you're always introduced over and over to the outside world and what everybody else is wearing and doing and whatever. So this uncle, she like, you're not supposed to correspond with people of the opposite sex if you're a woman, or maybe anyone, but she was able to, because they were related, even though she didn't even know this guy. But she like felt very comfortable sharing a lot of her feelings about like, I don't know if I like this religion
like venting
anymore. Like I'm questioning this, and somehow he like helped her like decide that she didn't want to do this anymore. She divorced her husband. She was able to like kind of turn some of her kids against the religion, or not turn them, but you know, she just shared what she was thinking and feeling, and they were like, yeah, this life sucks. Like,
we're not happy. No, we're not doing well here.
We're poor. Yeah. We're not thriving. We're not learning anything. And so she actually ended up leaving. And she like legit did a 180. She's an atheist now, and she made a cute little comment about how she was very, very severe one way, so how could she not be severe the other way? Like, she's like, I'm an all-in type of person. So but she was just so well-spoken and sweet and very like I don't know, just very like matter-of-fact about things and not judgmental about anyone or their thoughts. Just like, this is what my decision was, and this is what I feel, and you know, I am happy now.
And make no mistake, like she was like suffering, like her and her children were suffering, and she,
big time.
Like the documentary I watched, it's like like she is totally like, she seems like the nicest, coolest person, and her the thing that she said that was really that was just sad to me was that she had like 3 kids and initially before like they got really into it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And with her 3rd child though, she had like health issues and complications. And so her and her husband like agreed initially that like they shouldn't have any more kids, and he got a vasectomy, and they yeah, and then they got into the Quiverfull movement, and then she felt so bad and guilty that she didn't make her husband get a vasectomy. They decided
agreed, yeah.
based upon like professional doctors and health like issues that she should not, it was dangerous for her to continue to have children. And then she felt guilty about that, so he reversed his vasectomy and they had more kids together. And she's like, it was hard. I was not doing great, but I still kept, having kids. And she's like, I don't regret having any of my children, but like, it was awful. It was bad. It was really bad. So I was just like, God, I mean, it wasn't just her that was suffering too. Like we keep saying, like these kids are miserable. Like it's not living a life. Like you're just existing, and that's not right. Like no. That's not, you're not animals. You're not robots. Like that's the thing that keeps coming into my mind, where I'm just like, how are these people so quote unquote pro-life? I don't call it pro-life. I call it anti-choice.
Yeah. I think she was quoted as like, or she said on this podcast saying, she said that her kids were like zombies. Like she would homeschool them. One of her kids had gone to like public school for a little tiny bit or something, but was like really smart, and she didn't know how she would, keep them challenged and growing. And one of the pastors was like, you should homeschool your kids. And she's like, okay. And then she did, and it was fine in the beginning when she didn't have a ton of kids, but like then she had so many and none of them were getting the attention they needed or learning what they should learn. And she said once she divorced her husband, which he didn't want, by the way, because obviously the men don't want to leave this religion. It's all geared towards them being the head of it, the household, and like having the power. Once she left and some of the kids went into public school, like she said, they're brilliant now. Like they're so smart and driven and finding success in life, and like it's just.
And some of these people, they make it work, but those are mostly the people who the men have like really high paying jobs or whatever. Right. But like they're like these, like her husband, like you were saying, like he had an actual like physical disability. Yeah. Like he couldn't get a really high paying job with like the fact that he was like partially blind or whatever. But lest you think only women are against this because of feminism or whatever. Yeah. There is one guy that I found his a blog about that he wrote about growing up in this church. His name is Micah J. Murray, and he writes about growing up. So growing up as a kid in this, and he's still like Christian and stuff, but he is like an intellectually curious, like normal person.
Yeah.
And he talks about how growing up in this, it was just like very, very, very upsetting. He says like the kids, like how they're homeschooled, they like are kind of like they are an army. Like they dress them like Hitler Youth, like they have like a red bandana. Yeah, it's like really creepy. Like it's very, very culty. So his website is micahjmurray.com, and he has a blog post about the Bill Gothard homeschool cult. So
it has to be culty, because otherwise why would so many people have an aversion to it? You know what I mean? Like it's like these fringy type religions are just so crazy, and it's weird to me that people don't look at it, and some do and they escape and it's cool, but like you don't look at it and say, this is so severe. Why isn't everybody following this? Or like why aren't more even people that already describe themselves as Christians and follow those kind of values and tenets, why aren't they turning towards this? It's like because people think it's batshit crazy, it's too severe, and It's not a way to function. I just think it's weird. I just don't care. I mean, I think I do care because I don't think that the Duggars should have that many kids. I think it's fucking stupid. I just think it's weird, like, that you would have that many kids. Like, you're not that special. What you have to offer isn't that great. The only reason you're doing this is because you believe in something that says that you should have this many kids so that they can recruit more people into your culty bullshit. Like,
yeah,
and that's
the thing. That's what it is. It's like, I don't care what anybody does, but like, don't put your shit on other people.
That's what sucks about them having a TV show too, because like they love that shit because it normalizes it. Yeah,
it's just all gross.
Yeah,
and like, these men don't give a fuck. No. Like, that's the main thing that I just keep going back to. These guys are like Billy Zane from Titanic. They don't give a fuck about the women and children.
No.
But the main thing, I think the main takeaway I think from all this should be the fact that there are people that have been in this religion that have been miserable and grow up in it, that realize like this is bad. There's women that had to, basically have 10 plus kids and went through really horrible experiences, and they came out on the other side and they are talking about it. And this is why there's so much information out there now, is because these are really brave people who figured out how to get away and, can talk about it openly as much as they can.
Well, and hopefully will hopefully dissuade others who maybe aren't that fundamental.
Yeah.
Like fundamentalists yet, from joining that by like showing them, because the people who are already in it, like, yeah, maybe they'll save some, but also I feel like in those instances people turn into it even more,
right?
Like, it just makes them angry because they're being judged about,
totally,
and so they like kind of turn into it, which I feel like is what the Duggars kind of probably do.
Oh, they've leaned the fuck into their shit because they had to like circle the wagons and isolate themselves even more.
Yeah.
After exposing themselves in such a way to like the general public, and it's just like, now these people are like, oh my god, this is not right. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. But
yeah, bottom line is this religion does not care about the women, their comfort, well-being, overall health. They don't care about the children. I mean, in the best case scenario of one of these families, like the father pulling in, lots of money enough to like support them, like even in the best case scenario, like these people are growing up with the kids are growing up without proper education.
Yeah, they're still homeschooled from the Bible.
Yeah, and they're learning about human nature in a very wrong-headed environment, I think.
Yeah.
A very repressed environment, and that never goes well.
No. Oh, yeah.
And trying to do it in a modern, complex society, just it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, I definitely don't have anything against like religion and stuff, but this is like taking it and picking out parts of it that are just pretty harmful, I think.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say I do have things against religion, but
so yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And
so much fucked up.
Well, don't join cults, guys.
No. And like, we're always happy to give you our opinion. Send us your pamphlet, or if you're thinking about joining a movement, it feels nice. People are happy. They promote a lot of, mixers and just like there's a lot of singing and stuff. That's cool. It might be a fun time.
I'm down with that commune life,
right.
like,
but there's a fine line.
As long as it's chill.
There's a fine line. So make sure submit your pamphlets if you want. You could scan it and email it to us. We'd be happy to have a conversation with you on Facebook Messenger. If you have any questions, we're happy to read through your materials and let you know. We have good cult meters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Follow us on social medias.
Yeah. DTFU Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And the the closed Facebook group is pinned to the top of the DTFU page.
Yeah. So
on Facebook.
You can find it there.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's all I got.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
Everybody be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah. I think that's
Thank your mom for birthing you.
Hopefully you weren't born into a cult. But if you were, hopefully
rough.
You're out now.
Yeah.
All
right.
All right.
Cool. Cool. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.